Hi there, YouTube. We're gonna do another quick frozen thawed video with Martouf. Hopefully this time he doesn't miss as many as last time, and it'll be a little bit better. As you can see, he knows it's feeding time. I just fed my corn snake across the room, and he's been eyeballing me since I got home from work. Just like with the last one, I'm not going to move him to feed him. There is no reason for that. If he eats a little bit of substrate, it's not going to kill him. You gotta figure in the wild, nobody moves them to feed them. They're gonna eat. I mean, they digest bones. A little bit of cocoa fiber is not going to kill them. And some people will move their hides when they go to feed them. I've been seeing a lot of that lately on some of my Facebook groups that I'm in. That really doesn't help either, because in the wild they're going to sit in their rodent hole until they smell prey coming up, and then they're going to eat it. Let me turn on a better light so you guys can see. They're going to sit in their hole until something comes by and they can snatch it up and eat it. That's why a lot of people I've also been hearing have been concerned that their snakes aren't pooping, which isn't a huge deal, because you gotta figure also that once they poop, then their hole smells like them. And you can smell the rat that's over here. So then they're gonna have to find a new hole. So a lot of snakes will only poop really when they shed. So it's not a huge deal if your snake isn't pooping every single week. So he's waiting. So what I do is I always use feeding tongs for safety reasons. Sometimes they miss. These are my nice new ones. They're pretty long, so he's less likely to actually get me on accident. Take the rat. This is actually the first non-white rat I've ever used. I have heard of snakes being partial to not taking albinos. And I've actually been hearing people lately saying that their snake won't take black rats either. This one's a little cool. So what I did with him is I'll either stick them in the freezer the night before, or I'm sorry, take them out of the freezer, stick them in the fridge the night before, or let them sit in cool water for a couple hours till they warm up, and then run them under some warm water. You're gonna hear Waldo meowing for a second. And let them heat up in warm but not hot water, just till they're kind of body temperature. He's not super picky, but some snakes want it to actually feel like warm enough, like it's alive. I don't think the color of this is going to bother him all too much, because he's not a picky snake. So I'll grab it by the back. Sometimes I'll grab it farther forward in the scruff area, but he likes to grab onto it really well, and I don't want him biting my tongs. And with some snakes, you gotta do what's called the dance of death, where you'll kind of hold it in front of them, move it a little bit, but not a whole lot. Let me see, I gotta switch hands here. He's excited, he's hungry. This is the last of my Arctic Mice brand rats. I recently purchased a whole lot from, it's just kind of, whoop. He's camera shy. Kind of hold it for him, move it, he's sniffing it. Oh, and there he goes. And voila. And this is the nice part about not moving to feed, because he usually will sit here like this, sometimes for like 5 minutes, before he finally decides that it's dead enough for him to eat it. So now I don't have to actually sit here and watch him eat the whole thing. I can just I'll shut the light off, put his top back on, and let him go to town in the dark. And then I don't have to move him. The thing with moving them is you gotta figure they got that big old rat in their belly now, and you're gonna pick it. Oh, now he's not gonna be super picky. Then you're gonna pick them up with a full stomach and set them back in their tank. I don't know what he thinks he's doing right now. Occasionally he will spit it out and then just kind of look at it. Really, for the most part, you can just kind of leave them be, check on them. Eventually, they'll figure out where they want to eat it from. Because you see, he's got it, his face is down there, which he should be eating it from the nose up here. So, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take it and re-offer it to him, let him get a better grab on it. He'll wrap it again and then eat it. and it's not too big of a deal. You just make sure that they eat it and that you don't leave it in there for too long. Sometimes with new snakes, if you're trying to switch them from live to frozen thawed, what you can do is if you do the dance of death, you wiggle, wiggle, you kind of move it back and forth in front of their nose, under their nose. You don't want to move it too fast, but not too slow. And if they still just don't get it, just kind of let it set. Maybe leave it overnight as long as you make sure that you take it out in the morning. Make sure that it's warm enough, of course, not hot, but about body temperature, which is why I like sometimes sticking them in my pocket. Once they're thawed, stick them in my pocket for a little while so that they're body temperature when I offer them. With him not being picky, it's not a huge deal. So yeah, that's my second frozen thawed feeding video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Have a good night.